Welcome to Defining Moments with Rabbi David Fine. What happens when one spouse discovers a spiritual path and the other doesn't? When the person you married becomes someone different and you're left wondering if your marriage can survive? Amit and Arik Baron got married as a thoroughly secular couple. Neither imagined religion would ever enter their lives. Then, in the middle of life, while on a work relocation in California, Amit found her way to religious observance, and Arik stayed exactly where he was. The crisis that followed nearly tore them apart. Divorce was on the table, but what could have destroyed their marriage instead became something that strengthened it. Today, Amit serves as project manager and head of Rabbaniyot training at Barkai, and together with Arik, they help other couples navigate the same turbulent waters they once faced. This is their defining moment. Welcome to the Defining Moments podcast. I'm Rabbi David Fine. Here we are once again in the beautiful DABRU studios in Modi'in, and I'm very pleased to host today Amit and Arik Baron. How are you, Amit?
Hi, we're great. Thank you. Thank you for
Okay.
having us.
Thank you for being here. So I will say, I usually don't do this before because I usually have the people talk about, the guests talk about themselves first, but Amit and I have been very fortunate to work together now for a number of years in Barkai. And once I heard your story and I met you, Arik, I think that it's very important for an English audience, English-speaking audience to hear this as well. So I know that you're a little nervous about doing this in English, but it's important enough that people hear. So we're gonna, if you have to say a word or two in Hebrew, it's okay. We'll translate. Okay, but why don't you tell us about yourself? So Amit, why don't we start with you?
Okay, so I'm Amit. I used to be a secular person, and I'm married to Arik. We have two great children, really amazing one. Omri is 26 and Yuval is 23.
You should probably know how old your kids are.
Yeah,
I get in trouble when I don't know that. And what do they do?
Omri is in the army. They're both in the army.
Uh-huh.
They did Atuda.
Uh-huh.
Omri is in Modi'in, and we don't say too much about that.
Right, so just to explain to our listeners who don't know what that is, Atuda is an academic program that the Army basically pays for education, and then you have to do more years of service. And Modi'in is intelligence, not the city Modi'in, right? Intelligence, right? Okay, so they're both in Atuda.
Yeah.
Smart.
And he's already in Keva. I don't know how to say it in English.
Right, permanent service, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Career service, basically, beyond the first few years, yeah.
And Yuval is a nurse in the army.
A nurse in the army.
Mm-hmm. He also learned during the Atuda.
And what do you do?
So I managed activities in Barkai.
Okay. Right, so we usually say project director or something along those lines. And I'll say from my end that when Rav Sobel and I we're looking for an administrator, I always say that the reason I know that God, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, wants Barkai to succeed is because we put an ad in the newspaper, a few places, and the first person that interviewed and the only person that interviewed for the job was you. And not only that, we were basically looking for an administrator, and as you know, you've really become the third partner here in making all of this go. So we'll talk about that as we get further along. And Arik, what do you do? Or tell us a little about you.
I'm 55 or almost. I work in Bank Leumi. I manage foreign companies' accounts, large companies that have activities in Israel and they need an account. So this is what I do.
Right.
Most of the time I'm married to Amit, and this is
That's a good way of describing yourself.
This is my full-time job, and that's basically.
Yeah.
Good. Okay, so why don't we start at the very beginning of your story? Okay, what kind of homes did you both come from, Amit?
I come from a very left-wing home.
What does that mean, left wing?
Well, the Meretz voters...
Meretz party,
yeah,
right? Very left-wing party, right?
Against religion. Very, very against religion.
Right.
And I really felt this is the right way to live.
So your house it wasn't just not religious, it was against religion?
Against religion.
What does that mean, to be against religion when you're growing up? When you're 14 years old, what did you learn from your parents that was against religion?
They believe that all people are equals. All people want good life. All people want to have peace, and if we treat them well, they will treat everyone else well, and everything will be wonderful.
Well, I'm religious, and I agree with all those things, so I don't get it. Seriously.
Well, there is a difference between people.
Right.
There are people that don't believe that everything should be about good life and money, and have good life for their children. People around us believe that, I don't know, the land is more important.
The land of Israel is more important. Right?
Yeah. But they don't believe in living one beside another.
So they want to live more, solitude or whatever, alone, meaning separate from society.
Yeah.
Right.
And my parents and I believed back then that religion is ruining everything.
Is ruining everything.
Yeah, because it's separate between people. You don't have to separate everything. Everyone can live the way they want, and there won't be any barriers between people just because of the religion. And they didn't even think that there is anything good about it, or they didn't.
So when you grew up and you were a teenager, let's say, you saw religious people, that's what you thought about them, that they were just ruining life and they weren't interested in anything good, and they just wanted to separate between people. And that's the society basically that you grew up in.
Yeah, we didn't see a lot of
religious people
around us. Yeah.
Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Kfar Saba.
Kfar Saba. Okay. There are religious people in Kfar Saba, right?
Now more than.
Yeah.
But then we hardly see. I didn't know how a synagogue looks like inside.
Did you ever go into a synagogue?
Back then, no.
Yeah. Did you know? Were you educated at all about Judaism? Anything? Nothing.
No, I didn't know what a Siddur is. I didn't know the prayers. I didn't know Shema Israel. I didn't know anything.
Wow.
Yeah, I hardly knew about the Chagim.
Holidays.
The holidays.
Right.
Yeah.
And what about you, Arik?
So I grew up in a Ashkenazi family, like a regular Ashkenazi family, which means we celebrated holidays. Okay, we knew about Pesach. We ate matzot in Pesach. We fast in Yom Kippur. But at the same time, we ate milk and meat sometimes. We didn't. We on Shabbat we drove to the sea or anything else.
So it sounds like it was like cultural, the holidays, Pesach or Matzah.
Exactly.
Right.
We mentioned them. We celebrated in our way.
Right, but it didn't necessarily affect your entire life.
Not much more than that. Like Amit said, even though we celebrate holidays, I didn't know about Siddur. We didn't do a kiddush on Friday on Saturday evening. Friday evening. So I knew about the Judaism. I knew about the holidays. It was more important for us. Of course, we did the bar mitzvah, and we did aliyah to Torah and everything.
So it doesn't sound like your family felt the same. People didn't want to be together.
Exactly. We did not. They weren't against the Judaism. On the opposite, they thought it's important, but up to a certain point.
Right. So
they respect it.
They respected it.
Yeah.
In his family, they respected it.
So your family, they didn't respect it.
No. They even hate it.
Right. Okay, I have a lot more to ask about that, but we'll get back to that later. So how did you guys meet each other?
We met at the army. We both we served in the MP, like military police. We were both in Kdumim, which
Kdumim, the city.
city. I don't know. It's
The
not a
settlement.
city.
There is a base
Yeah,
there.
a settlement in the
West
Shomron, in
right,
the West
in the
Bank.
Shomron, right?
Yep, and back then it was a small settlement, but the military police main training
Is near
camp
there.
was there, and Amit was the head of the
police women.
for the women.
You were head of the police
Training.
women training.
Yeah.
Wow.
And
So
I-
you were head of training. You've been doing training your whole life. Right?
I was
Exactly.
Well, it's interesting that now in this cohort of Barkai, in the cohort Zion, to the 7th cohort, we have a rabbi from Kedumim, right? Harav Liron Cohen is
Yeah.
from Kedumim, right? I also think that Bezalel Smotrich lives in Kedumim, right? Not that that's
Not sure,
important right now, but
we went there last Friday just to visit the place because we heard about something to see there, and it's the first time I think like in 30 years that we
Yeah.
Wow.
visited
We traveled.
this place, Kedumim.
so that was before you went to university.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. And then, so you met in the army,
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you got married while you were in the army?
No.
No.
We met when
We're
we
secular.
were.
It takes time
When-
between.
yeah. We met when we were 20, around 20, 21.
Yeah.
And after the army, we went to university.
Together, to the same university?
No. Amit went to Haifa University, and I went to Rupin.
Yeah.
And
We find a place in between.
yeah, we were in Hadera, I think, back then. And at the age of 25, 26.
26 for me,
I asked
25 for
Amit,
him.
You got
to
married
marry.
while you were in university.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, maybe a little
And
later,
what did
but
you
yeah.
study in university?
Business, how do you say, Minal Asakim?
Business administration.
yeah.
And Amit, you?
I was in psychology and sociology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you say sociology. So I've heard the stories and read it and watched other podcasts that you've done several times. So I'm going to try not to tell the story. I'll let you tell the story, but I could ask you certain questions that I know, that the answers to them are important in order to tell the story. So you took a sociology course that I think started raising some questions in your mind, correct?
Yeah.
Can you tell us about that?
The Haifa University is a very critical way of thinking and looking on life. And the sociology sociology course was telling us to put question marks on everything we think, on everything we learned, on every value, everything we know. So I started putting question marks on everything, what is good and what is bad, and what people do, those who have power are trying to make us think, are trying to make us do, are they trying to make more money by doing that or doing that? So I started putting question marks on everything and thinking about things. And
usually in university, they put question marks and people who are religious become not religious. I don't think they think the opposite is going to happen, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm sure they were asking for the other.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So what happened practically? Anything from that?
At this point, only the journey of thinking.
Thinking.
Like I started reading books about Buddhism. I didn't even...
About Buddhism.
Yeah, I didn't thought about Judaism at all because it was such a dark picture about it. It really wasn't in any way a path that I was going to go through.
Wow.
So I started learning about all kinds of Torot HaMizrach, the
Eastern religions.
yeah.
Right.
And I read, and it was nice at the beginning. It really felt like it has wisdom. It is very, it looks very nice on the people, and but it really didn't give any good answers.
It was very shallow.
Yeah,
I
it was
remember.
exactly. It has a תקרת זכוכית.
A glass ceiling.
Yeah.
Right. It's interesting because this is not the topic of this podcast, but many Jews are, in the Far East all the time, and Buddhism and all those different, searching for answers there. It's interesting that you say that, that it's shallow.
Yeah.
it's interesting also that I think all of the answers, are with us right here at home. We just people have to know how to look, and the people that are, teaching need to know how to present in a way that makes it talk to the people, of this generation. Yeah. So you guys, but even though you were going through this reading and all that, your marriage together, let's say, was totally a secular marriage. Exactly. And when did things start to change?
A year before we went on relocation to United States, I came upon an ad about a course in Kabbalah in Modi'in. It was interesting.
In Modi'in, the city of Modi'in.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
And I didn't make the connection between Kabbalah and Judaism. For me, Kabbalah was Kabbalah, something almost like the Eastern.
Right.
So I went there, and I started listening to all the lectures, and I suddenly felt that there is something about it. There is truth of what they're saying, and the ceiling, the glass ceiling, is breaking.
Is breaking.
So I learned a year
of Kabbalah.
Right. And then we got the invitation to go to relocation to California.
So you went to California for your job?
Yep. Yep.
Why? Why did they? You were working for Bank Leumi then?
Yeah, I was an investment advisor, and I made good things, and I knew about the market. So it's like a bonus. So they asked me if I wanted to go to Palo Alto. Palo Alto is where the branch is located.
So Bank Leumi does investing in California?
No, Bank Leumi had like a subsidiary, Leumi USA, which was, now it's Valley Bank, I think, but back then it was Leumi USA, and it was a subsidiary of Bank Leumi Israel. And they, as a bonus, sent some people from Israel to work there. And I got the chance and the opportunity to go, and I asked Amit, and she said, "Of course, let's go." It's
with your kids, or it was before you had?
Yeah. Omri was like 10, 11, and Yuval was 7 or 8.
7.
And it was a challenge,
right?
But it was a great adventure and
an amazing
time. And to be honest, I didn't know even she went to the Kabbalah course.
You didn't even know?
No, I didn't remember.
Till today? Till right now?
No, I knew she went to Kabbalah before. I didn't knew when, and I didn't remember. Maybe it's something
you forgot.
You forgot, yeah. You want to
conveniently forgot.
Exactly.
Now, before we get to going from secular to religious, I'll just say, and I think we talk about this in Barkai all the time. And I was a rabbi in America for 10 years, 2 different communities in the Midwest, and Israelis. I noticed that when they come to America, secular Israelis, not religious Israelis, come to the synagogue because in America you realize that the center of the community is the synagogue, and if you want to belong to the community, you have to show up at the synagogue, which is not true in Israel. Meaning, we're trying to work on that in Barkai, that synagogues become communities, right? But so. Did you feel that happened to you? Forgetting about becoming religious.
No.
Yeah.
No. because Palo Alto is very hard for religious Jews.
Right.
There's no food restaurants. There's like one, I think, restaurant back then. There was only one, I think.
This is what years?
2010. We were there 2010 to 2014.
Right. Okay.
And,
4 years. Right.
4 years. And there was nothing there. I think maybe one synagogue. Most of the community were secular. They didn't believe in Judaism. They didn't practice Judaism. They went maybe to Chabad.
Right.
In the holidays, they maybe
there was Chabad.
Yes.
Right.
There were several Chabad houses. But what made the difference for us is Friday evening kiddush. Okay, because when you go from here to the United States, what you do is kiddush.
Right.
This is the biggest change.
Right.
Okay, here no one in our families,
Right.
in our from our friends, no one did most of them didn't do a kiddush. In the United States, everybody does a kiddush,
Right.
and you get invitations every Friday to a
Gathering,
And you get together. Not just the
Yes.
kiddush, the actual technical kiddush.
It's
You mean
like it's a friend,
getting, like a
it's like a
kiddush, like
friend,
getting
yeah.
together with people.
Yeah, so I didn't know. I don't remember if you even light the candles. I don't remember. Maybe
No,
yes.
we didn't.
You didn't light candles, right?
So what changed? What happened?
Well, I was looking for the Kabbalah course that I started in Israel. I thought, well, I knew that there is another branch in San Francisco.
Right.
And when I said, yes, let's go to the relocation, I was intending to go to keep going to the course, but in San Francisco instead of Modi'in. But when we got there, I started looking for it, and I learned that it's closed. It was closed. So I was searching for something else, something to it. When I was in the year that I learned in Modi'in, I felt like I'm getting more and more. It's like life, and I really needed it. So I started looking for something that looks the same, and I came upon an ad of Chabad saying
Chabad in Palo Alto.
yeah,
Right.
a course about the meaning of life. And I said, wow,
pretty
this is
big, right?
exactly what I was looking for.
Uh-huh.
And again, since I was so away from Judaism in Israel, I didn't really know what Chabad is.
Right.
I didn't know that Chabad and Judaism is the same.
Uh-huh. Interesting.
I started going, I went to the first class, and I saw there really few. I think we were five people that came to the course. And I said to the rabbi there, I'm a trainer for businesses. If you want, I can train you. This is a really good material. The course is amazing, and it's very interesting. So if you want, I can volunteer to guide you how to
Expand the business.
Right.
Exactly. Yeah. So he liked that.
Right.
I don't know whether he liked that because he wanted me to volunteer or he wanted to help me go
Become,
closer.
more religious. Right.
So we started working together, and
Right.
I volunteered to manage the Beit Chabad.
Right. Wow.
Which is, it's an amazing turn.
Right. And so keep going, meaning, at some point, something changed, right? In terms of not only your reading and your learning and Kabbalah and all that, but your practice
Well,
at some point,
first,
right?
I discovered Judaism. It was so new for me. Well, that there is wisdom where I thought there is we didn't know that there is wisdom in Judaism. It looks
Felt ancient. right? Like
something from back.
Irrelevant.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
And when we started learning the Tanya together
Uh-huh.
in another group
Right.
with the rabbi, and it was amazing. So I started getting deeper and deeper, and when I understood that there are mitzvot, that you are a partner with God in this world, and the mitzvot are the way how to bring kedusha to the world,
Holiness, right?
and to be God's helper in changing the world. I wanted to
You
be
wanted
his.
in.
Yeah.
Well, when you say it that way, I would think anyone wanted. Arik, you didn't
Nah.
participate in this?
No, it didn't work for me. Well, the rabbi from Chabad was Rabbi Landa from the Kashrut in Bnei Brak. His father was the Landa.
Oh, right.
Landa.
Yeah, okay.
And I remember one time he invited us for a Passover. And we sat there, I think it took hours. We didn't know about Passover in Israel. Pesach, the Seder, we went, it was like 2 hours,
Right.
3 max.
Right.
there it started very, very
late, 'cause you have to wait for it to
like
get
9
dark out.
9
Right,
p.m. And I think around midnight we started like with the egg or something. So, and I remember he said, we sat next to each other, and he said, "Don't worry, I didn't get anyone to be religious, to return in, how do you say, return in, לחזור בתשובה.
לחזור בתשובה, right.
Don't worry.
To become about tshuva, yeah.
Yeah, it only happened once. And I said, okay.
Even Amit is laughing. That Amit, right? Okay. So apparently it worked the second time.
Yeah.
Right? But you were not interested in this learning, studying.
No.
You were against it, or you were just interested in other things?
I was against it. Of course, from Amit doing that, it was bad for me. It was a breaking point for me. But for me, I didn't understand the concept. Amit told me we went to several courses of arachim in Israel. There's like
an organization.
It's an organization that tries to teach you, to show you that God exists in rational terms. Or I went twice and it didn't work.
Right.
So I said to Amit, maybe something is broken with me. So I don't understand. But it's me. It's not you. It's me.
Okay, but I could assume that as long as one person in a marriage is, reading this and another person is doing that, like, as long as it's just reading or whatever, it's fine, right?
Yep. Right. It's fine. As long as it's reading, it's fine. And I remember my friends told me, listen, Arik, watch out. Right. Something is going on. It's not only reading. Before you understand, she will not drive on Shabbat. She will ask for kosher food.
Right.
Watch out! It's going there. And I said, listen, I know Amit.
Right.
She's a very smart person and intelligent. She likes to investigate. She likes to learn, and that's all she's gonna do. And
so your friends were right and you were wrong.
I didn't see it coming. No, I didn't.
So what happened next?
The amazing thing is that I didn't see it coming.
Right.
Also, I didn't know how a religion person looks like.
Right.
So at the beginning, I remember I thought, if I'll say the right thing, if he will listen to a certain course that I'm listening to, if he'll read what I'm reading, it will happen. He will join me and we will
So
do
you're
it
not
together.
even fully religious yourself and you're already trying to work on him, right?
I wanted him to be a partner in my journey.
Right.
The journey is scary because you learn that everything you believed and everything you thought is true, everything you thought is good and everything you thought is wrong, not necessarily is the right thing.
Right.
So you feel like you have nothing to stand up.
Right.
Yeah. So at the beginning, you have nothing. You have no religion, no values, knowledge from Judaism, and yet everything you knew is in a question mark.
Right.
So it's a very, very scary point to be in. And I was trying to have my good partner be with me.
Because it would be a lot easier if you did it together.
Yeah, it feels
in so
safer.
many ways, right?
Yeah,
but it didn't. So what happened next?
So Rabbi Alanda was really very smart to say, look, you are here for 4 years. You have now only 1 year to go and you'll be in Israel again. Don't do anything until you go to Israel, back to Israel, because there you'll have your family to support you.
Don't do anything in terms of changing your lifestyle.
Yeah.
That's
you can,
interesting. Right.
Here you can learn,
right.
But I think he didn't want to have this
argument between you.
Yeah.
Right. But the argument eventually happened, right?
Yeah.
That was after you got back from Israel.
Yeah,
it started at the end.
It was really hard for me not to practice Judaism.
So what did you start doing?
I've asked him if we can not go on Shabbat for trips and maybe just to eat in vegetarian restaurants and stuff like that. He didn't like that.
Yeah, I remember the searching in the aisles of I don't know, supermarkets. I don't remember the brands now, but you look on every product. You look for the U or the K.
See if it's
and you go and you go and you look. And back then in the Bay Area, you didn't have so much.
It's not like being in New York.
And probably not now.
Right.
So
now it's a lot better.
Yeah. So it was hard. So not only you need to.
And it was expensive. Yeah, the meat was expensive.
The meat was expensive.
So it started before you got back to Israel, but then when you got back to Israel,
but it got much worse than worse than.
So you say the word worse. So what do you mean by that? Meaning, okay, my spouse is becoming religious. I'm not going to become religious. Fine, she could do it, but it seemed to hit a different.
It was a big conflict. Okay,
between the two of you.
Between the two of us, I remember sitting in the house before the all the equipment got back from the mechola. How do you say
lift? The lifts came back. From America.
So and we sat on like plastic chairs in our city in the apartment in Modi'in, and I told Amit, listen. It's me or him. Okay, wow. It's like you try to.
So you were ready to end this.
Yep. At that point, yes, it was like it's me or him.
I'm not trying to take sides here. I'm asking. I'm just trying to understand. There are some times where people change their lifestyle, and the other spouse is fine with that, right? Meaning, so what was so awful?
This is a huge one,
right?
Okay, because it affects every aspect of your life.
Right.
Yeah.
And
we used to go to friends on
Shabbat.
Shabbat and the family. You cannot go to my family house because it's not kosher. You cannot go to her house because it's not kosher. We lost all our friends. All our secular friends, because we tried at the beginning to set up like meetings on Tuesday, Wednesday, but it doesn't work because they work, they're tired. They used to meet on Shabbat or Friday evening.
Right.
So
unfortunately, in Israel, we don't have Sundays off like they do in America.
We need to change that. We need to change that.
But I've heard in different contexts you use the word begida, which is a betrayal.
It's a betrayal.
So you literally thought that this was a betrayal.
Yeah, because when you marry, you got a contract.
Right.
Okay, you have a contract. You got married on the same page. You have the same values. You have like the dream of what you're gonna do together. You have the.
We already had a vision about how we're gonna
bring up your kids,
the trips, food. It's everything.
You thought you were getting A, and you ended up getting B, right?
Correct. And maybe I don't know if it's G. Because it's literally changes everything, all your lifestyle, the food, the kitchen, Shabbat.
The way I look.
The way, the dress, dressing.
So were you angry, or did you just say, I'm not angry, but I just can't do this?
I'm not sure angry is the word. I felt despaired. I felt embarrassed. Embarrassed, because you need to tell your family now that Amit is now religious,
right?
And it's not something that your family, approves of. I don't know. Right. It's not something that they're used to.
Right. And I think we should just point out again, especially to the people that are in the United States, they're not necessarily as aware of some of the nuances here that, like you said before, it's not just that we're not religious, meaning people look down on religious people, or at least many people do here. Yeah. Right.
Back then, for sure. Today, I think it's changed after the war and things are changing. But definitely back then, you walk on the mall, and you walk next to a religious person, you look like this, like in jeans and and t-shirts, and Amit goes with the dresses and skirts and long sleeves and the hair. So at the beginning, everything was started in small changes.
Right.
This is how I was able to accept
it. What were you feeling, Amit? I mean, did you think, oh my God, my husband's going to leave me, or should I pick my husband over, religion? What were you feeling?
I was very scared.
Did you know that he was ready to end it?
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking about it, and I was very scared, and I cried a lot. And I prayed for God. I prayed for help. He was my best friend. For me, he was everything.
Hopefully he still is.
Yeah, still is. I couldn't imagine my life without him.
Right.
Couldn't. And I didn't want to do to my children. I didn't want them to go through this.
Right.
So I was praying for God to send me someone to help me. And I'm so happy to say that whenever I'm asking God for help, He's sending help.
So we'll get to the help in a second. But before we get to that, what made you wait? Why didn't you just do it right away?
Because it's not an easy thing to do. Again, like Amit said, we the children were most important for us. I love Amit. She's my partner. We knew each other like 20 years now, and the easiest way is to break up the marriage. It's easy, and you can do it today. You can do it tomorrow. You can do it in 6 months. There's nothing like, okay, let's do it now because something is waiting outside.
So you decided to give it a little time.
Yeah.
So what made you able to accept it?
At the end of the day, on the daily life, it wasn't so hard. It wasn't the influences were not so big.
But you said you lost all your friends. You couldn't go visit your family.
Exactly, but it took time. Okay, the friends at the beginning, we tried to keep them family. We try to find solutions. So it wasn't like everything came on one day and Amit looked like that and all the mitzvahs were done like 100%.
So we decided that we can really get divorced anytime. So how about giving 6 months? We decided to give 6 months a trial and to see whether we can find a path, find a way to make this work.
So what was the solution that you said you prayed and that you received an answer? What was that answer?
Yeah. At the beginning, I prayed for help, and because we came here and I didn't have Rabbi Landa to teach me. So I came upon an ad about a rabbanit that guides חוזרות בתשובה. So I started going to her guidance.
And who is that?
From Malachim also. Yeah.
Right.
And then after crying for God for help, in one of the meetings, she told me, I just heard about Amuta that is working. It's
an Amuta is an organization, a non-profit organization, just for the people that don't understand. Right.
That works with couple that has פערים באמונה.
Right. So Parim Bamuna are gaps in religious belief, meaning people that are not on the same page religiously. So that organization is called?
Hitkashrut Zugit.
Hitkashrut Zugit, which it's hard to translate into English, but it means something like, tying together the ties of marriage, So this is an organization that all it does is deal with people who are in the, couples who are in the situation or some kind of similar situation that you're in. Maybe not exactly, but some kind of gap in religious belief. And so what did they do for you that you didn't find on your own before that?
Well, first it was amazing because we thought that we are the only couple in the country that is like that.
Right. We often think that we're the only ones going through certain problems.
We didn't see anyone like that.
Right.
And when we went there were others. So that was amazing. And the couple that run the organization are couples that went through this path before us and succeeded.
So the founders of the organization are a couple that the same thing happened to.
Exactly.
Right.
And they say it works.
Right.
It can work. We can help you and teach you the way we went, and it can work.
So if there's an organization, you're saying that there are principles or some kinds of tools that can be taught, more, bigado, what are those tools? Meaning, how do you make it work?
Yeah, so it's like a 12 meeting course. Even at the first meeting, you get life-changing solutions. One of them is do not argue about God. Okay, so it's a good advice for anything, not only for God. So at the moment that you start an argument
really,
like
God,
there is a God,
Right.
no. you once
It's
you
not going to end in a good place.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is the first one. Do not argue about God or anything else. Just end it right there. The other one is about
finding a rabbi.
So they recommended me, the secular person, to find a rabbi that will suit him, that will accept him, that will give him advice. So
you chose the rabbi.
I chose the rabbi, which is
very hard things for me to accept.
Yeah. We had one from Litai, Litai, like a Hasid, I don't know, and it wasn't a good fit. Everything I asked for, he said no. We can. This is it's not gonna work. So we like God sent us, if I may say so. Our neighbors, they were like a Zioni, like
Zionists, modern Orthodox, Tati Lumi, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they were our neighbors and friends, and they said, "Listen, we go to this synagogue. It's like nearby, and
we have a nice rabbi. Maybe you'll find him.
Come and visit one time." And we went there, and we
just
met.
To give ourselves a plug, that rabbi is
Rabbi Shachar
Kihan
Kihan
from
runs to
Barkai.
be a Barkai rabbi here in
Barkai,
Modi'in, a very, very successful one, right?
Yeah, and he was amazing. He was able to
went through a course by the Amuta, apparently.
Right. So he understood how to sort of understand and
the difficulties.
Right.
He understood what we were going through, and he knew how to give answers and solutions that are inside the halakha, but they're not. You not go to the extreme, but it works. Right. And
so you give him credit for helping.
A
lot of credit, and Amit also gave him some tests, of course, because she needed to know that he's good enough, that he's a good rabbi.
Halachic enough, right? So I want to ask you a broader question, right? I remember that one of my rabbinic mentors when I was in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, is Rabbi Mikkel Torsky, who himself is from a Hasidic dynasty. And I remember him saying once that he didn't think that anyone ever got divorced because of religion, meaning that was just really on the surface. That really, if people were okay with each other, either together as a couple or were all healthy, mentally healthy on their own, that they would somehow be able to make it work, right? So it sounds like, that you said yourself you almost got divorced. So yes. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, so I feel that for sure there are couples, and we know some of them that got married because of the religion's gaps. But I do accept and agree with him that if the couple are strong enough at the beginning, if the connection, if the relationships are good at the beginning, you can beat this gap. Okay, but if this gap comes on top of bad relationships, and so that's going to be the end of it.
Yeah.
You have anything to say about that, Amit?
It's a huge gap. It's not a very easy things to לגשר עליו.
Right, to bridge.
Yeah.
Right.
So you need to be in a very good relationship.
Right.
And most of the couples usually, they live one beside the other, and most of the couples don't work on being good couples.
Right.
The course that we went through, it's like a tipul zugi, like it's
marriage counseling.
Yeah, it's marriage.
No, but on one hand, you can pick a rabbi and not argue about God, but you also have to do the non-religious stuff. How to talk to each other, how to respect each other, how to understand each other.
So that's the process that we went through.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Throughout those meetings, you get out of a meeting and you process what you heard. Right. And you try to and you start to practice what you learned. Yeah. And I remember each time we went out from the meetings, and we said, okay, what's the next thing that we're gonna take?
Right.
And we took one solution, one suggestion, one advice, and we said this is something that we're gonna work on.
Right.
And marriage, it's like a workout.
Right.
Okay, it's like a muscle.
Right.
You need to practice, and if you're not practicing, it's dead.
So I want to ask, with all of the challenge that you went through, with the betrayal and the almost getting divorced and all the being alone, since you've gone through all of this and worked on your marriage so much, would you say that your marriage is, better? You're better because of everything that's happened?
For sure.
Uh-huh.
For sure, because
it's a gift. It was a gift.
Yeah. First, each one of us went through a big change.
Right.
Okay, so my luck is that the person next to me is Amit. Okay, because you need to see couples coming, and if the man is doing the change, is getting religious, he's going from 0 to 100 in a week. So you can see him like me, and in a week he will be with peas and all the shrine. I don't know.
Right.
So they are very fast and I don't know. It's not violent, but it's very aggressive. Women are less. It's more soft,
more feminine.
Yeah.
Right.
So this is one thing that helped. Second, you go through a change. If I at the beginning thought that the religious Judaism, practicing all those mitzvahs, is very pagani, very
pagan.
I know.
Pagan.
Okay. Pagan. Yeah. Very ancient, very
dark.
I don't know, any word you can think of. And now I respect. Okay, this is the biggest change. You get to you start to respect the person. You start to respect his beliefs and what he's doing. And you don't just say no. You don't. Right. You say, okay, I don't believe, but I accept. It's fine. I don't.
There's a lot to talk about in terms of the views of the secular community vis-a-vis the religious community, right? It's one thing to think, I don't like them and whatever, but it's another thing to think that they're medieval and pagan and irrelevant and what they're doing is evil there's a lot more. We don't have time to really get into that now. But I want to ask, we have to end pretty soon. I just want to ask you two last questions. So you were at the president's house, the president of Israel, right, yesterday, where this organization that you are very involved with, right? We didn't even get into that. But you speak for them and you teach for them, right? Why don't you just, for a minute, talk about that? Hitkashrut Zugit.
Yeah, so
right?
Hitkashrut Zugit is trying to bring the teams, the groups in Israel together. We had 2 years of war, And before that, there was a very huge argument between the groups, the reforms and the seculars and the Haredim. And so what Hitkashrut Zugit is trying to do is to bring everybody to like a circle table, to sit everybody together and speak.
Right, so that's my question, meaning can you take these tools that are being taught to couples in order to work together to bring people together that are so different? Can those same, it sounds like what they're trying to do is sort of make this more national, make it more public than just the couple.
Correct.
Yeah.
Do you think that will work?
We tried several times,
Yeah.
and we found out that people, when they listen to the other person, they found out that he's a good person.
Right.
And he wants good things. He wants them differently. He thinks that we can achieve them differently. But he's a good person on the other side. When we start seeing that there are person in each group that wants good things, have good values, and doesn't want to hurt you, wants the good of for everyone, so you start to listen and you start to look for solutions.
I remember years ago, before you were working with us and Barkai, one of the people who was teaching Livoy Ruchani, chaplaincy, spiritual, whatever you call it in Hebrew, chaplaincy in English, it's basically about the end of life, you know, how you help people sort of go down that path, that very difficult path at the end of their lives. And one of the rabbis, and it's based on listening skills. And one of the rabbis asked the teacher, how important is listening? Is it 80%? Is it 70%, 60, 50? So the person said, listening as a rabbi or a chaplain is 100%, right? If all you do is listen, if you don't solve one problem, you're already, solving the problem. So it sounds like, you're saying the same thing. Mm-hmm. I remember I was listening to one of the podcasts that you were on with, and Rav Ami, the head of Hitkashrut Zugit, he said that 20% of the people in Israel are getting closer to Judaism, and 13% of the people are getting further away from Judaism. I don't know when he said that. I think it was since the war started. So he said 33% of the people are bit to zuzah. Meaning 33% of the people in Israel are moving in some way. So that's a big number, right? A lot of people are going through. Again, it's very different. It could be this, it could be that. There are so many different situations, but it's so important what you and this organization are doing.
Yes.
We try to bring the groups together.
Right.
Israel is very divided and into groups, and our goal is to bring everybody together and to listen.
Yeah. Right, but the question is that, and this is where I'm going to challenge you just a little bit, is that it's one thing to teach couples like you how to sort of, because you love each other, you already have a basis for a relationship, and you have children and all that. It's a totally different thing to start bringing, religious and non-religious people together as large blocks of people. Hopefully you're right.
Yeah,
I just wonder.
Again, right? It's not a large. Each group contains 10, 15 people. You can have several tables, but the group will be around 10, 15 people. Uh-huh. You have tools. You have methodology. You say you cannot argue. You cannot get into the things that the other person says. You need to listen.
Right.
It's I don't know if maybe it's a common word, imago. It called imago, the tool.
Right. And imago is some kind of methodology in Israel that's not. I don't think it's so well known outside of Israel.
Okay, so. It means that you can say what you think. The other person needs to listen and to reflect what you said. And that way you avoid, the
misunderstanding.
The balagan, what we say.
That's a better word, balagan. So my last question for you is, again, we could talk about a lot of this for much longer. First of all, is there anything you feel that we left out?
I think one of the most important things that the outcomes of what's happening here is our kids.
Right. That's so funny because I'm going to interrupt you because the question that I was going to ask was the following, is that I was going to say, let's say next week I scheduled another podcast at DABRU, and you weren't here and your kids were here. Right? And I said to them, what do you think of your parents? Like, what do you think about all this? Well, what would they say? I don't know if that's what you were going to say, but...
No,
right.
not in those words, but our kids are the I think the solution for this country.
Wow.
They are the future because
your kids specifically.
No,
right.
not our kids specifically. The kids of like us.
All the couples.
The Hitkashrut Zugit.
Our likes, because they speak both languages. They can speak dati, like religious, and they can speak secular. They know the groups. They are not afraid of.
Right.
They respect both groups.
This is the most important word.
Right. So now you see groups in Israel. They said these are against those. They know how to treat each group, and I think it's an amazing thing to hear them, and the things that they saw, and they manage through things that we didn't do.
Right.
We didn't. I sit today with Haredi, with Chabad, with everybody, and I can speak. They can do the same. And
Beautiful.
This is something that we didn't have because I didn't see.
You would have no contact with them.
We didn't see religious people before.
Right. So I said I had two questions, but I guess I'm going to ask one last question, and that is that, I mean, I'm sure you never, when you were in, Haifa University, learning about sociology and criticizing everything, questioning everything, that you were going to be working, training Orthodox rabbis, right? So what do you feel about what you're doing now?
Wow.
Forgetting about me. Right.
This is amazing for me. It feels like my shluchut in the world. Being able to be there for ro'ei atzon of...
the shepherds of the Jewish people. Right.
Exactly.
Right.
I don't understand why God chose me for that.
Well, thank God he did.
I'm thanking for every day in the job. It's amazing. Just going back in time to say to that girl that hates the Judaism so much, you're going to work with them.
Right. It is pretty interesting how life turns out sometimes. So.
Just to say that I found the ad in the newspaper.
Right, I know that. Right.
That's an important.
I'm very blessed.
Right. Okay, I think this is that's a very good place to stop. So, we wish you not only continued life, continued, success in your own personal relationship, but helping the Jewish people through, Hitkashrut Zugit, come together in ways that we certainly need to come together. And so thank you so much for being here today. And, may Hashem bless you with success.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for joining me on Defining Moments. Remember to subscribe to the podcast on Apple, Spotify, or anywhere else you get your podcasts, and leave a 5-star rating and a review. Please share this podcast with your friends who, like you, want to be inspired both by this period in Jewish and Israeli history and by the people who are making these defining moments happen. Let's not squander this unique opportunity. Maybe the next defining moment will be created by you or me. Until next time, I'm Rabbi David Fine.